Matthew received an invitation to join a hunting trip this weekend in a rural area of Spain. This is a traditional wild boar hunting competition, held annually to protect fields from the ever-lurking, destructive herds. Determined to eliminate these pests, Matthew and his group of hunters are ready to set out. Let's hit the road. Accompanied by fierce hunting dogs, the group ventures straight into the rugged mountains. The terrain here is harsh, with jagged rocks interspersed with low shrubs, but visibility remains clear enough for them to scan their surroundings. Just minutes after arriving at the location, Robert Sanchez, a sharp-eyed teammate, spots a wild boar lurking in the bushes. Without hesitation, he fires and takes down the first boar with a shot so precise it's astonishing, despite the whistling wind. The pack of hunting dogs immediately scatters, scouring every nook and cranny for the herd. Their relentless barking echoes through the forest, signaling to their masters that more targets are near. Another boar comes into Robert's sights, but this time, his first shot misses. He quickly adjusts, and with the second shot, the boar is subdued. The group presses on to the mountain's highest point, where the dogs continue their fervent search. From a drone hovering above, Matthew spots a massive boar hiding among dense bushes. As the dogs flush it out of cover, the group fires in unison, bringing down the prey with little difficulty. Wild boars here are so abundant that they boldly invade farms and fields in search of food, becoming a nightmare for local farmers. When a gigantic boar bolts in panic across the mountainside, Matthew takes aim. His first shot misses, but with the second, he drops the boar instantly, a perfectly placed, satisfying shot. Tracking the wild boars charging across the mountainside, the group doesn't hesitate, firing several shots with determination to claim more trophies. The booming gunfire blends with the dogs barking, making the hunt increasingly dramatic and intense. A shaggy-coated boar briefly appears before them, weaving through dense bushes, seemingly aware of the imminent danger. The pack of dogs instantly detects it and gives chase, hot on its heels. As the boar emerges on the opposite slope, Matthew decides not to miss the opportunity despite the considerable distance. A shot rings out, but unfortunately, it misses the mark. The boar continues to bolt down the trail, growing fiercer by the moment. By instinct, it might flee, but when threatened, it turns to charge the dogs. When it reaches an open spot, Matthew seizes the moment, swiftly aiming and dropping the prey instantly. The wild boar hunting competition continues with unrelenting tension. Across the mountains, other hunters are also scouring the terrain, and many boars have already been taken down. It's the only way for locals to protect their fields from the boar's destruction. In an unexpected moment, a bold boar charges into a lake and swims to the opposite shore, momentarily throwing the dogs off. But soon, they leap into the water and resume the pursuit, refusing to let the prey slip away. The hunt now transforms into a high-stakes race, with everyone eager to claim victory by bagging the most prey. The excitement and tension have never been greater. From a distance, Matthew spots a massive wild boar charging through a small stream. Despite its robust frame, it moves with agility and caution, weaving through dense bushes. With only a fleeting moment to act, Matthew doesn't hesitate and fires. The bullet strikes the boar's flank, leaving it no chance to escape. Wild boars here often move alone, unlike the herds Matthew has hunted elsewhere. Perhaps the relentless pursuit by the hunting dogs has spooked them, forcing them to split from the group. This makes the challenge even tougher, heightening the thrill and excitement of the hunting competition. Another ill-fated boar falls into the trap set by the pack of dogs. These four-legged warriors are true heroes of the fields, fearlessly charging at the massive prey. The boar struggles desperately to break free from the encirclement, but its efforts are futile. In a flash, the hunters swiftly finish off the prey, marking yet another victory in this gripping journey. The hunt continues with the unwavering enthusiasm of the hunting dogs. The group quickly selects advantageous positions for an ambush, ready to wait for the panicked herd of boars to pass by. When the moment arrives, Matthew only needs to raise his rifle, aim directly at the target, and fire with precision. Incredible! A massive wild boar is brought down after a few shots. As the afternoon fades, with sunlight still stretching across the mountain peaks, the hunt draws to a close. The hunters assist each other in collecting their trophies, the wild boars they've taken down. The atmosphere buzzes with excitement. Everyone is satisfied, not only with the number of boars hunted but also because they've helped protect local agriculture from these destructive pests.
They're not the silent lurkers in the shadows. Wild boars, ferocious beasts, are storming closer to human habitats, tearing through fields, destroying property, and threatening the safety of livestock and people alike. Against this backdrop, hunting trips are no longer just thrills or daring adventures. They're a vital stand to restore balance between humanity and nature. So, how will this relentless chase between man and these savage creatures end? Join us to witness the heart-pounding, high-stakes journey in today's gripping video. This trip plunged us into the rugged hills of America, a hotspot where wild boars roam rampant, wreaking havoc on local farmers' livelihoods. Armed to the teeth with rifles, camouflage gear, and GPS trackers, our crew dove deep into the forest, kicking off a thrilling hunt amidst untamed wilderness. Tiptoeing across the barren hillside, a sudden rustle from the brush ahead snapped me to attention. My gut screamed that the prey was lurking there. I steadied myself, raised my rifle, and tracked every flicker of movement. Seconds later, a dark mass exploded from the thicket like a bolt of lightning. Instinct kicked in, I squeezed the trigger. The gunshot shattered the eerie silence. The bullet flew true, striking its mark. The beast tumbled, rolling a few times before lying still on the cold ground. Venturing deeper into the desolate heart of the barren hill, I suddenly spotted another beast slinking through the brittle underbrush. Not letting the chance slip away, I swiftly took position, steadied my rifle, and locked onto the target. A single, precise shot rang out, the bullet slicing through the air and striking the prey's head dead on. It collapsed instantly, no chance to resist, the hunt over in mere seconds. My gunshot seemed to jolt the entire hillside awake. Just minutes later, a full-grown wild boar burst through a narrow rocky crevice. Without hesitation, I raised my rifle, took careful aim, and pulled the trigger. The sharp crack of the shot tore through the stillness, hitting the beast square in the shoulder. It stumbled, lost its momentum, and crashed to the ground. The hunt on the hill ended with hard-earned trophies claimed from the wild. Stepping away from the rugged hills, join us as we shift to a thrilling night hunt across the vast plains of America. Fully equipped with weapons, binoculars, and GPS, we're primed for a new, heart-pounding challenge under the stars. Rolling through the night in our pickup truck, the engine's roar echoed through the eerie silence, sending a chill through every breath. Spotting a target ahead, we swiftly closed in. Leaping from the truck, I raised my rifle and locked onto the prey. A clean shot rang out. The target dropped in an instant, utterly still. My gunshot sent the surrounding prey into a frenzy. From the shadowy brush, a beast bolted past mere inches from me, spiking the tension to a fever pitch. Determined not to let it escape, I gave chase and fired. The crack of the shot reverberated through the dark, shattering the night silence. The wild boar struck hard, crashed to the ground, skidding across the dew-soaked grass before lying completely still. This hunting trip drew to a close after hours of intense stalking and pinpoint-accurate takedowns in the untamed wilds of America. Every action was carried out in strict compliance with local hunting regulations in permitted areas. Wild boars, creatures once thought to lurk only in deep forests, have now invaded the plains, causing unimaginable damage. They not only destroy crops, but also leave villagers living in fear as night falls. Faced with this crisis, what will farmers and hunters do to reclaim peace? Join us in a heart-pounding pursuit where the line between man and beast is drawn by a single gunshot. First, join us as we step into the chilly night of rural America, where giant wild boars exploit the cover of darkness to ravage fields and livestock pens. Guns, thermal binoculars, infrared lights. Everything has been meticulously prepared for a heart-pounding hunt under the moonlight. We drove for about an hour to reach the hunting area. The silence was eerie and unsettling. From a distance, a herd of beasts was quietly tearing through a cornfield. I quickly raised my rifle, locked onto the target, and pulled the trigger. The gunshot shattered the night's silence. One boar was hit and collapsed to the ground. The rest scattered in panic, fleeing in all directions. Not missing the opportunity, we decided to track down the surviving boars. A target was spotted. Swiftly raising my rifle, I pulled the trigger. The sharp crack of the bullet echoed through the silent night. One beast collapsed, motionless on the cold grass. The night hunt concluded with victory for the seasoned hunters. After a tense night, the first light of dawn dispelled the darkness. Seizing the moment, we swiftly moved up the mountain for a daytime hunt, where the prey roams actively under the radiant sunlight. Join us as we continue this thrilling pursuit of the beasts. Silently weaving through dense bushes, a dark shadow suddenly darted out in front of me. Reacting in a split second, I raised my rifle and fired. The blast echoed through the mountains and forest. The beast struck squarely in its midsection. It collapsed onto the dry ground, thrashing briefly before gradually losing its ability to resist. The gunshot shattered the silence, sending the surrounding wild boars into chaos. The frantic barking of hunting dogs signaled the presence of other prey. As expected, a group of wild boars was hiding, hoping to evade my rifle. Without hesitation, I swiftly raised my gun and locked on the target. A clean shot rang out, and the lead boar was hit, collapsing in the middle of the forest without making a sound. As we descended the mountain, we encountered stray boars from the herd busily foraging. Aiming from a distance, I fired a single shot at the target. It collapsed and lay still instantly. The remaining boar fled in panic, leaving behind an eerily silent scene. The daytime hunt concluded with the giant beast herd surprisingly defeated. Today's journey of night and day hunting has come to a close. From the silent darkness to the radiant daylight, each moment brought its own challenges. But with seamless coordination and precise shots, we emerged victorious. Everything was conducted in legal areas and in compliance with regulations. Wild boars are becoming a genuine menace across rural America. They ravage crops, attack livestock, and leave communities gripped by fear. Refusing to stand idly by, seasoned hunters have set out, armed to the teeth with a fierce resolve to wipe out these ferocious beasts. The clash between man and wild horde has begun. Who will emerge victorious in this high-stakes battle? Join us for the heart-stopping journey of the wild boar hunt, starting now. Join us as we embark on a journey into the rugged, untamed hills where wild boars roam, foraging and wreaking havoc. Fully equipped with rifles, flashlights, radios, and gear, the hunt for the feral pack kicks off amidst the majestic, yet perilous wilderness. Beneath the scorching sun on the hillside, I cautiously scanned every rustle around me. Down below, a beast was silently weaving through the parched underbrush. Stealthily closing in, I raised my rifle, steadied my grip, and waited for the perfect moment. The instant the target entered my crosshairs, I fired. The bullet flew true, striking the prey's flank, sending it skidding and writhing for a few seconds before it lay still. Almost simultaneously, my teammate spotted another dark shadow slinking away, trying to escape after witnessing its companion's downfall. Without a moment's hesitation, he raised his rifle, locked onto the target, and fired decisively. The bullet tore through the air, striking the fleeing prey. With a single shot, it crumpled to the ground, unable to resist, bringing a dramatic close to the thrilling chase. Pressing on toward the hill's crest, we were cautiously scanning the surroundings when out of nowhere a beast charged at me, primed to attack. Without hesitation, I held my breath, raised my rifle, and pulled the trigger. The bullet struck true, dropping the animal in its tracks. The ground quivered briefly before silence reclaimed the air. This hunt on the hill ended with us triumphing over the untamed wild. Stepping away from the rugged hills. Join us as we venture deep into a dense forest nearby. Thick with towering trees and treacherous terrain, this place demands a shift in tactics and gear to adapt to the new environment. Our hunting dogs are unleashed, scouring the surroundings for prey. We had only been threading through the dense forest canopy for a few minutes when danger suddenly struck. The hound's barks rang out urgently, full of warning. Something was closing in fast. A massive black shape burst from the thick undergrowth, charging straight at me as if to attack. With no time to think, I raised my rifle, locked onto the target, and pulled the trigger. A deafening shot shattered the forest silence. The prey collapsed heavily before me, instantly lifeless. Silently pressing deeper into the forest, the rustling of dry leaves ahead made me freeze. Instinct told me it was prey, so I quietly eased into an attack position. Just seconds later, as expected, a dark shape flashed across my line of sight. Seizing the moment, I swiftly raised my rifle aimed true and fired. The bullet whistled through the air, and the prey skidded across the damp ground, collapsing motionless without a sound. After an arduous journey through treacherous hills and dense forests, we proved the mettle of seasoned hunters. This hunting trip was conducted in full compliance with legal regulations at a designated hunting area in the U.S.